Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Travis here. Y'all ready to talk about the M36? I sure am. Let's fire it up and get to it. So the M36 is an all-in-one charcoal wood-burning smoker, but it's also a fully adjustable charcoal grill. It is just like our M1, except it's just bigger. You can put more food on it. It has a little bit more bells and whistles, but overall, it's the same cooker as far as everything that it can do. We're going to get to it. We're going to fire it up. We're going to show you how to get the firebox going for your low and slow smoking or even baking. We will show you how the searing box works inside to set up awesome two-zone grilling. Showing you the difference of using, large charcoal to using small chunks of wood to, more like a mini log. So we're going to go through all this because there's so many different ways you can cook on this machine, which makes it really unique compared to other grills and smokers on the market. So yeah, but let's go ahead. We're going to fire this up and we'll take you on a tour. The build construction of the M36 and M1 are unlike a lot of other charcoal grills on the market. They are very heavy, they're stout, they're all thick 10 gauge steel. When you do lift up the lids, they do take some force. There's nothing flimsy that's going to wobble in your hands. Benefit of that, it doubles as a gym membership. This particular M36 has this high gloss raw steel look. So basically what we did is after we fabricated the grill, instead of sandblasting and painting them, we put a high temperature, high gloss coating over it. So it gives it a very unique look. This one's been cooked on quite a bit, but we're gonna open this up and I'm gonna go through the interior of this grill so you can see just how you set this thing up for your charcoal grilling. The M36 has a top shelf extension. This is still, it's all 12 gauge stainless steel, completely removable. So you want to take it out if it's in your way, no problem. And keep it in. Right now we'll just take it out as I strip this down. You have your grate removing tools that comes with your grill. Makes it to where if your grates are dirty or hot, no problem. You can take them out with your tools and lay them to the side. Do that to every one. And so you do have 3 grates on top. And all your grates, just like on all of our grills, they are 3 or 4 1/4-inch thick stainless steel. When we get to the bottom here, now we have our searing box. And this is all stainless steel. You can pile charcoal up really high in this one area and make a very, very hot zone for two-zone grilling. But you still have your full grate over here, which is actually the same size as the M1's bottom grate. So pretty much the difference between the M1 and M36 is that you still have that full-size grate that you do on the M1, but also a searing box right next to it. Whereas on the M1 you could put a searing box on top of your grate, but you cut that real estate in half. Underneath the searing box and bottom charcoal grate is where you have your baffle. You have your baffle opening over here. You have a stainless steel baffle cover, and what this does is if you put this over that baffle cover, this is perfect for regulating temperatures to where you want to be like 300 degrees or below when it comes to smoking. If you want to get hotter for baking temperatures in the 400 range with indirect cooking, remove this and it just allows a lot more airflow up into the cooking area. Most of the time I always just leave mine on. And then I have aluminum foil on top of the baffle, and that makes cleanup extremely easy. Probably after every 4, 5, 6 grilling, cooking sessions in here, that's when I'll take the aluminum foil up, throw it in the trash, and put some new foil down. So we'll put this back. Searing box. Also, let me add that on this bottom rack for your charcoal grate, you can smoke on that when you are cooking. So you can have so many different configurations of while you're smoking in here. For instance, you could put a full brisket or pork shoulder or two on the bottom. You could load your top cooking grates with food, and on your top rack, you could add more. Or you can take a grate out, move it around, and have double tiers that's easily accessible to get down to the bottom. So you can get real creative with how you want to set this up. Makes it really fun and unique when you're smoking. But also for your grilling, when you have your searing box here, you can remove your top grate if you like, just put food on here, but then also put a little charcoal on the bottom. Or if you just want that really hot zone, load that searing box. You got your grate fully adjustable, so you can raise and lower it, and you can see how far down that goes. There's all the way, and come all the way up. Now you can see how high you can get. So now essentially the only thing separating your food and a charcoal is just 1/4 of an inch of steel. But there you go. That's pretty much everything with the cooking area and the grilling section. Now we'll start talking about the firebox. So now we're at the firebox. You have a 1/4 inch thick firebox door. There's your intake for your airflow throughout the entire cooker. So there is not a separate vent or damper that used to be on the old model M1s and M36s. Now your complete airflow comes through the door. Stainless latches and levers. Here you have your firebox and an ash pan. So what I like to do is drag out the firebox ash pan. There's the basket. This makes loading very easy. So yeah, let's go ahead and load this and do a little test with temperatures and see exactly how you fire up the M36's firebox. When I'm smoking with charcoal, I'm always adding a little bit of wood to it. So if I'm going to load this with charcoal, like you see here, I'm going to put in probably about 2 or 3 chunks of wood, just to give me some good smoke throughout the cook. Now I'm going to show you how we light this sucker up. When I'm smoking with mini logs of wood, I'll start pretty much doing the same thing, except I don't use near as much charcoal. I might even use smaller chunks of charcoal just to get a nice little base down, but allow myself to be able to put, you know, larger splits of wood in. But for right now, we're gonna do a big charcoal smoke with some little bit of some wood chunks in there. This is gonna get us a really long, unattended hour of smoke. So I'm gonna put my little lighter block in here. And that's about it. I'm gonna keep my intake fully open. I'm gonna make sure my damper on the stack is fully open. So right now, I just want as much airflow as possible. So I got everything just running wide open. And then once this charcoal starts to burn, our temperatures start going up in the M36, then we'll start leveling out. We'll start off with the firebox door. We're gonna start cranking this down probably halfway, and then that'll pretty much stall temperatures from going up any higher. And then we can fine tune, you know, from 5-degree increments through the stack. And just to check our time, it is now 10:51 since I've lit this fire. So, and I only used half of a fire starter block in here. So we'll kind of give this an idea, see how long it takes to get up to temperature. Of course, you can get more charcoal going faster, but when we are burning charcoal like this, we really don't want too much charcoal to light at once. We want it to be a slow process, so when we get up to that temperature, we can control it very easy. If you get too much charcoal just going at once, you're going to burn through your charcoal faster, which will make you'll probably have to refuel, another time during your long smoke session. So that's the key. Just keep it, be patient with it. Now, I don't know if you can see right now, but we do have smoke coming out of our stack. And when I say we're gonna run the stack fully open, that's with this little key right here. All the way down is closed, all the way open. And we wanna run, every time we're just now lighting up our barbecue pits, we want as much airflow as possible to get it up to temperature. So we don't wanna slow it down yet, but as we get to the point to where we wanna slow down our heat and start really controlling it, then that's where we can make slight little, tiny little moves, and that will just keep it dialed in. Okay, now we're gonna shoot at the thermometer, and we'll just watch the temperature rise and kind of keep track of our time and see how long it's taking us. So our temperature still, it's slowly going up, but let's come over here and look at the firebox for a minute. So we haven't touched it since we lit this, but that is all the charcoal right now that is burning. It's not very much, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. All right, if anybody's curious about the heat that you're getting on the outside of the M36, down here in the firebox, I can keep my hand on it. It's not very hot. It is warm, but not hot. Anything below here, the lid is definitely hotter. That lid's hot. It is about 84 degrees outside right now. Now that's still cool. We're not insulated here. Everything from these bolts down is insulated. So from here, not hot. This definitely isn't hot, but this lid's pretty warm. Maybe let's see if you can see about getting some temperature readings. Yeah, it's only 105 degrees down here. 104. We're at 126 up on the lid. So we have just hit 200 degrees. We are 40 minutes into when we very first lit our firebox. So, at this point I would go ahead and start throwing my food on. But when I hit 225 degrees, I'm gonna start slowing down the airflow and show you how you can dial in pretty much whatever temperature you want, and it will just hold it there for hours. So once we hit 225, we're about 25 degrees away, then we are going to slow down the airflow and get it to where it will just hold that 225. So we are now just hitting 225. Okay, I'm gonna show you exactly how to keep it and maintain that 225. So I'm gonna bring my camera out so we can see this whole process. Zoom out a little bit, bear with me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with the firebox is I'm gonna first close the firebox down, first about halfway. And then I'm going to see what that does with the temperature. So let's come back over here. So now we're back at the temperature here. I really want you to see this. Okay, so we're a little over 225. And I'm going to watch it and see if we're going to go up any higher. So now I went to the firebox and I closed it down to where I have about 1/8 of an inch open. And since I know I really don't want to close the firebox anymore unless I really need to, so now what I'm going to do is take the stack here. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to start fine tuning here. I'm making tiny little increments. First, let's shut it halfway, because that's fully shut, that's fully open. Let's go about half, 45. And then let's come back and look at the thermostat. What I would like to see is the thermostat to start dropping a little bit, very slowly, which it is. And once it hits that 225 mark of what we're targeting, then we're going to slightly open up the stack damper just a bit and then that will level out the temperature. Okay, it looks like it's leveling out right there. I don't see that dropping anymore. It looks like it's pretty stable, but we want to be extremely picky just for the sake of this video to see the performance of the M36. So I want to hit 225. I'm going to adjust the outtake on the stack. I'm going to close it down about half to where now it's only opened up a quarter. And that's really going to slow the airflow down inside. I can see it slowly coming down. I'll just show you how much I closed this down. So that's just as much as I have it open right there. Barely a turn. So that's closed about a quarter of the way open. Okay, now we're back at our thermostat and we are just about exactly 225. Exactly where we want to be. Now at this point, if it drops below that at all I'm going to do is slightly open up the stack damper just a hair. But it might level out right here. It might not have to touch a thing. And just to give you an idea on time, we are now at 11:45. So it has been pretty much, we're about 5 minutes away from being a complete full hour. So 55 minutes from the time we lit this fire to exactly getting our temperature dialed in where we want. Just so you can see the time here. Oh, that didn't help, did it? We are at 11:46. See that? Do it again. Just so you can see the time, we are at 11:46. We'll keep rocking. Okay, so now we have nothing but time on our hands. So let's talk a minute about what is happening. Like why are we able to do this with our grills and smokers and control the heat? And why do we can't do that on some other smokers? What's the difference of a stick burner and a charcoal smoker, and how can you do both on one? And, so airflow and the build quality is really everything. When you're burning charcoal like what we're doing right now, all we're doing is we close down the airflow. We got a sliver of air open. We close down our stack, and then we're just really slowing the airflow in the M36. So that's going to allow super long, slow burns with charcoal. When you're doing that, you don't want to put a whole lot of wood in your firebox, because essentially what you're doing is you're going to smolder the wood, and too much of that will give you some bad tasting barbecue. So we want just a little bit of wood. I only put about 3 or 4 chunks when I first started this. Spread it out so over time it's going to burn up. It's going to smolder one chunk of wood. Then when it's done, as that charcoal burn spreads out, it's going to then ignite the other wood. So it's going to do this over a real long process and not all at once. When we are burning logs for stick burning, now it's a complete different style of cooking. Now this, to me personally, this gives you your best flavor of barbecue, just like it rivals any type of barbecue restaurant that people wait in line for hours for. They're doing that because they're burning wood. To me, it just gives you your best flavor. It burns differently. It just, the quality of smoke is everything when it comes to a stick burner. And that really involves around your airflow. So, firebox, when you're burning sticks of wood, you want as much air as possible, and you want your stack open as much as possible. That's why on some different cookers, if it doesn't have the proper airflow to handle stick burning, you can't do it. Even though you could say you could burn logs in it, it's not going to burn logs clean. And that's the key to something like this, is you want clean burning logs or clean burning smoke. So little tiny airflow for charcoal smoking, a whole lot of airflow for wood burning. That's it. Other than that, it's simple, and you could do both on the M1 and the M36. Okay, it is now 11:58. It has gone up a little bit in temperature, so I'm going to shut down the stack just a little bit more. I hope y'all can hear me over all this lawn work people are doing in my neighborhood. We are on the quarantine, so everybody's at home trying to find things to do. I'm shooting some grill videos. Neighbors are doing their lawn. But hey, we're gonna bear with it. It's good to hear everybody outside. If I'm making that little slight adjustment on the stack, we are back at 225. I think now, since we had to make 2 little adjustments to get it to really hold that temperature, I think now we won't have to touch it. It's gonna be good. Okay, it's been another hour before I go inside, just checking the temperature, and we are still at exactly 225. Our time is, hasn't been a full hour, it is now 12, I don't know if you can see that, it's 12:36. So, temperature is not going anywhere. I'm gonna go inside for a while, and we'll come back here in a couple hours or so and check this. Okay, it's been some time outside. It is now 2:15. I come out here and we are still just deadlocked at 225. And try to show you my phone. See if I don't know if you can see that, but we are 2:15. It is now exactly 3 hours since we got this pit up the temp and set it. 4 hours considering from the very first time we lit the firebox. So we're still at 225. It really hasn't budged, but maybe not even 5 degrees, a little under. I'm gonna check the firebox, kind of see what kind of coals we have. Just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna probably go ahead and just throw 1 stick of wood on so you can see the difference of turning this from charcoal smoking to stick burning. But I expect it just to hold this temperature for a few more hours. So, but just for the sake of the video, just to show you that how you could dial in the temperature, you get it exactly where you want it. It just stays there. It doesn't bounce around and fluctuate. So let's go ahead, open up the airflow. Let's throw a stick of wood on and let's see the difference. Okay, so I'm over here at my firebox. I'm gonna try to shake some ash off of it, so when I pull this out, it won't make a mess. So you can see I still got charcoal still in there, and it is still extremely hot. So I'm gonna open up the damper all the way. I got a nice bed of coal in there. I'm gonna open this up most of the way. Now, if I'm burning logs, this is exactly what I do. You get a little bit of charcoal in there, throw your stick on, probably put a couple of sticks just to get it going. You already get a nice bed in there, and you're going to start to see some smoke. And as that smoke kind of dies down, it'll be a nice clean smoke. So we got plenty of airflow coming in. We got all the airflow wide open coming out, and now we're stick burning. We have thrown a couple of sticks of wood in the firebox. We opened up the airflow. We had quite a bit of charcoal still left in our firebox basket from our charcoal smoking. So now our temperatures have shot up way high. How you control this when you're stick burning is you pretty much control the temperature of your smoking with how much wood and the size of wood that you put in. So mini logs are perfect from here. I put in 2 splits. I probably just should, next time what I'm gonna do is just put in 1, and that should keep my temperature a little bit cooler. And but I always want my dampers to be fully open on my firebox and on my stack, because I want a really nice fully engulfed small hot fire so that wood is burning clean the entire time. And that, as you can see, you barely see any smoke coming out of the stack. That's exactly what you want. If you start producing heavy smoke, which if I start shutting the firebox down a little bit, if I close the damper down, you'll see how slow it's making the airflow inside the smoker, and now we'll start to smolder the wood and we'll start producing more smoke. There's times in your cooking, if you want to actually have more smoke in your food, that's all you got to do is just start choking down your firebox and start implementing more smoke onto your food. But in this case, 99% of the time, we always want a clean, hot burning fire. So we'll open this up. We'll keep that open. We can make little adjustments if we want, but I never start shutting it down like we are when we're doing charcoal. So you have the full capabilities of all stick burning on here. They give you to me personally, the best of your barbecue flavor you can get. Charcoal smoking, which you could do this as a charcoal oven or smoker when you're adding some wood chunks in here. And up next, we'll show you how to fill up your charcoal grate for direct grilling, and then we'll show you how we could do 2-zone grilling and even 3-zone. You could also burn wood in your firebox while you're charcoal grilling. So if you want that extra punch of wood smokiness, you can by all means definitely throw wood in your firebox, which is pretty cool. So but let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and just shut this portion down. Let's get ready for the charcoal grilling. It is now, what time is it? It is now 3:35. So let's do it. And let's see how fast it takes for this thing to cool off. It's been an hour since I completely shutted this down, and our temperature has dropped all the way down to 150. So it's pretty much safe to say we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead, show you how to do some charcoal grilling in the M36. So first, with our grate tools, I'm gonna take out this grate, set that to the side. I am going to fire up the searing box. So different ways you could do it. Here I have a chimney full of some lump charcoal. I'm just going to put this right underneath. I'm actually setting it right inside the searing box. Got some butcher paper. I use some butcher paper just right underneath. So plenty of clearance for full chimney. As soon as this gets hot, we're going to dump this right into our searing box, and we're going to go ahead and open up the airflow on the firebox door. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer, and then we're going to dump this chimney just in the searing box. Then we'll take some temperature readings to see how hot we can get. We could also throw full splits of wood on top of the searing box and do wood grilling. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. Temperature's gone up to 350 degrees at the thermostat. You know, our fire is right over here, so let's just check this. Let's get some temperature readings on our actual grate, if I can. 875 degrees. Woo, that's hot. On top of the stainless steel grate, 873. 874. Yeah, over there we're 270, 250, 260. So over here we're going to be like 270 degrees and cooling off, but right in this area we are 800 I don't know if you can see that, but we are definitely trying to get it not on the coals, but right on the grate. There we go, 875 degrees on top of the grate. Now, you can drop that down. Now we just took the fire quite a bit of ways from the grate. And actually by doing that, that's a kind of a quick, instant way to cool off right at your on the grate temperature. But now I'm going to show you that you can actually burn wood while you're charcoal grilling. So here I could put a full split of wood right on top. And that's really hot, but now I can do full wood grilling. I could keep this open if I want. I could slide this grate right on top, and then if I have food on here, I could just slide this food right over. But now I got a nice flame. I could put some wood chunks, wood chips, but I can control how I'm grilling right on the fly. Now, if you're going to do something like with wood and you're concerned about too big of a flame, just use smaller wood or shut the lid. Let the lid and the airflow control how big your flame is. But you can see there, you can definitely handle splits of wood and actually do wood grilling here. The versatility that you're getting with the M36 and our M1 is just unmatched with anything else on the market. When you're doing charcoal grilling, you can load up your bottom grate if you like. You could have a searing box just going. You can have, you got all this real estate over here. You got your top shelf extension. When you're smoking and you're not using any charcoal up top, you could put food on your charcoal grate. That's down below. You have your full surface here. You have 3 levels of smoking when you're using your firebox. So you have so much versatility in a grill that will pretty much do anything you want and give you the best flavor while doing it. I think that just about covers it with the M36 and the M1. Charcoal smoking, charcoal grilling, stick burning, and even some wood grilling. The M36 and the M1, they're extremely versatile. They're built by tanks and so easy to cook on. So yeah, make barbecue fun for yourself and crank out that delicious food. So if you have any questions, please visit our website, mgrills.com. See you guys.